Welcome everyone to Full Time. I'm a little bit rushed because they literally just got off, and I'm trying to get all the pictures uploaded and everything. I was literally about to blow a gasket after that goal that went in for Villa. I was almost screaming, and then we equalised 1-1. It kind of feels like a win. So apologies for the crazy start there. I've got Alex in the background waiting to join me as my co-host tonight. He's very excited. He's very nervous. So, give the lad a chance. But this is Full Time. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Alex. Welcome to the show, mate.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Yeah, especially after that goal just there, man. Amazing.
Well, it kind of saved Steve Bruce's bacon, didn't it? Because I was literally ready to come on here and literally blow my top, and I was red-faced. I literally missed the goal because I was taking pictures and uploading them to the stream tonight, and it knocked my link off for the game on my phone, and I turned it back on and we're frigging losing. I thought, what the hell's going on here? I stuck with it though, as we had to, and last ditch effort there from the Cells. What a bullet header. I always said if we were going to score, it was going to be a defender or an own goal, and I was close to a 1-0. I did say 1-1. On my head said 1-1, my heart said 1-0. So yeah, I'm still trying to calm down from it all and trying to recompose myself, because I really thought I was literally coming on here to have an absolute rant and a half, but we'll have a half a rant, because is a draw good enough, Alex?
Well, yeah, I think it is. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything against Villa tonight, to be fair, and we defended really, really well, magnificently, I must say. I mean, everybody on that pitch, really, other than conceding that goal, did play really well. Obviously, I've been writing notes throughout the whole game, and I don't think I can pinpoint anyone that didn't play very well. I mean, it was really deflating when they scored that goal, though, wasn't it? I mean, my heart just sank. Yeah. I was like, oh, we've played so well. We definitely deserved something out of the game. So, I mean, it's the same issue we had last season, I suppose. We've got none of these players that we brought in to offer that attacking threat. So, without them, it's always going to be a different player on the pitch. I mean, Lascelles got 2 games in a row now. Absolutely wonderful header. Murphy was unreal when he came on, by the way. I think he's massively underrated, me. He just sort of takes players on. He's so quick at getting the ball up. However, when Bruce decided to take Fraser off for him, you thought, oh, why is he taking Fraser off? He always does this. He takes the best players off. And you can't see where, how we're going to get the ball into the final third and put any crosses in, when Fraser's definitely the best crosser of the ball. And he's taken him off again, and it brings Carroll on with a few seconds left to play. I think they're the only subs he made as well, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm still trying to calm down.
He brought Manquillo on for Kraft as well, didn't he?
He brought Manquillo on for Kraft, which I think he wanted to start with Manquillo, but I don't think he was fit for 90 minutes. I mean, that was a bit of a nothing substitution in my eyes. The 2 big substitutions were Carroll and Murphy. A lot of people had them in their starting lineups. I would have had potentially Murphy in the starting lineup, but I wanted to see Anderson myself. Carroll, I wouldn't have in the starting lineup personally myself, but I did see a lot of teams being put out on Twitter saying I'd rather have Gale and Carroll playing up top with each other. And changes were too late, though. He was more reacting to what Villa did and going 1-0 up, rather than trying to make those substitutions early and trying to win the game. So we'll come on to that a bit later on, because we've obviously got the first half to look at as well. There wasn't really too much to look at. But David says, hi, Barry and Alex. Hi, mate. Thomas says, hi again. Ridiculous. Bruce out. We need Bruce out. We really do. who we played well. Liam doesn't agree with you there, Alex, and I'm kind of on your side a little bit, Alex, to be completely honest with you, because Joe Linton got a lot of stick again online, as he always does. I mean, I give him stick and say get him off, but I only say get him off because of his contribution in the final third. His decision making was shocking again tonight, but he got into the positions which he hasn't been doing, and he was running around a lot. I know it sounds really stupid to say that, but he did get himself into positions. He made himself difficult to play against. It's just that final pass, and why the hell was he not shooting again? I was screaming at my phone. I really was. The missus nearly slapped us. Liam says he thought both teams were poor, and we have to beat Brighton next week. If we don't, that confirms our third relegation. I'm not 100% sure about that, to be honest with you. I think Brighton is a do not lose, because if we draw it, it then keeps arm's length away from them, and they've got a really difficult run in. They really have. We've got a few more winnable games than what they've got, so it's not all doom and gloom yet. And Mark, my very good friend, a Villa fan, so frustrating. Did not deserve to lead, but man, to concede so late, the draw, right result. And you can't really argue with that, can you? Can you, Alex?
Well, I mean, it was squeaky bum time at the end when they nearly scored the second, wasn't it? We definitely wouldn't have come back from that. I feel like, I mean, go back to what Liam was saying. First of all, I thought to put things into perspective compared to what we played like for the majority of this season and pretty much all of last season, we were a lot better, a lot more solid. Most of the players that were on the pitch were putting a lot of effort in, a lot of heart into it. It's just, I mean, he's right in the sense that we can't finish anything. We've got no cutting edge whatsoever. But again, without Wilson, ASM, and Miggy, we're not going to have that. So I would have definitely taken a point against Villa tonight. I mean, Joe Linton, I thought he was really good tonight. Obviously, he's got spoons for feet, like I was telling you earlier. He can't shoot for anything. The ball just seems to bounce off him. His decision making, like you say, as soon as he gets near the opposition's box, he seems to panic, and he doesn't know what to do with it. He's got the chance to square it, he'll trip over the ball. If he's got the chance to shoot, he'll try and square it. So but however, saying that, he put loads of effort in. He was pressing really high. He was up and down the pitch. He was doing some nice little work, nice bits of work in the sort of in the centre of the park as well. He's quite skillful in a way, but I mean, like I say, he panics a little bit when he gets towards their goal, and that really lets him down, in my opinion. I don't know how he was ever that highly rated by Nagelsmann. They were saying that in the game, weren't they? He said he was difficult to defend against.
Definitely.
Him and Mings were a really good battle, though, weren't they? It was good to watch.
They were. Yeah, especially in the first half. I mean, he did have the beating of him a couple of times, and Joe Linton apparently fouled him a few times, but I didn't see that. But you sound like Steve Bruce, apparently. Yeah. Fair enough. I tweeted during the game, was desperately miss Wilson. Yes, we did. Wilson is a huge, huge miss for us. Before I bring my mate Faz on, who's waiting in the background to come and obviously as a Villa fan, I just want to show the team that we put out tonight. If it decides to load up, it's going a bit slow. There's our starting 11. Kraft, obviously for me, shouldn't have been playing, but if Mancura wasn't fit, then fair enough. Shelvey had a bit of a shocker in the first half, didn't he? And I've been trying to praise him and trying to say he is the man for us, but it's not looking that way, is it? I would like to see Anderson in there. What other changes would you have liked to have seen to that starting lineup?
I think it's probably a little bit too early for Manquillo, but you're right about Kraft. When I see him on the team sheet, it never breeds confidence. I mean, he played pretty well. I mean, he played all right today. He didn't didn't make any massive errors that led to goals or anything like that. Shelvey, you're absolutely right. I'm starting to really dislike him. He was absolutely diabolical today, man. He couldn't every pass he seemed to play. He went to the opposition. You know what I mean? He played some silly balls, and he made one or two decent tackles on the defensive side of it. But I did a rant video the other day, and I was saying that he has one good game in sort of every 10 games, I would say, where he
Yeah.
plays blinder of a pass and it leads to something. Now, if you're looking at that sort of as like on a numbers basis, me or you could be just having a kick about, and every once in a while when the wind's blowing the right way, with the ball that we try and play would reach the right player, and that's exactly what he does. So he's massively overrated, I think. So he would be another one. I mean, in regards to that midfield though, Willock and Hayden were absolutely unreal, and in the second half especially, it's like Hayden's great at winning the ball. He made some amazing tackles when we'd been silly and given the ball away to save us.
Yeah.
And then straight away, Willock's playing like bombing forward with it all the way up the pitch, and playing a nice pass or something like. He was unreal, I thought, in that second half.
Yeah.
For a team that can't score
Make
goals, he offered something at least.
Yeah, I think a lot of people give him man of the match, to be fair. So let's bring Faz in because he's obviously got a different view of the game. He's a Villa fan. So good evening, Mark. Thanks for coming on, pal.
You all right?
Hi, mate.
How are you doing?
Good, not bad.
Yeah,
not
really
bad.
good. Obviously,
You feel better now anyway.
We're a bit good we didn't get 3 points tonight because we really wanted them. But when we went 1-0 down, I thought that was the end of our career again as a Premier League club. And then obviously Lascelles has just banged one in with a great header, great cross from Murphy. Obviously, arguments about him starting are looking quite strong in his favour now. But as a Villa fan, what did you make of your team's performance?
Poor. I mean, you can't argue that. Well, for pretty much 60, 70 minutes, that was a pretty dire game. It shows how much we miss Jack. As much as I hate to admit it, I think, I've said before, I don't think we are a one-man team specifically, but we're a one-man attack. Without him, we miss him. We don't have that spark. We got really lucky with a goal. That header was on its way wide. How it goes in off Clark, I'll never know. But it's just so frustrating. We didn't deserve to win, but to be 1-0 up with 15 seconds to go. Stop the cross and that. I'm frustrated. I think the draw is the right result. I don't think either team really deserved it. Although, to be honest, Newcastle had the better chance. I think with was it Murphy's one that came back off the bar? He was the difference in the end.
Yeah.
I think from a Newcastle perspective, you look at it and go, why the God's name didn't he come on earlier?
For me, the substitutions were left far too late again. Yeah. And it's a criticism of Bruce that he's never really got the substitutions right for a very long time. Maybe the Everton game and the Southampton game, because we were pinned back and we only had 9 men. He made the substitutions right in those games because we came out with the points. But Murphy was unlucky again. I mean, it's a bit like Joe Linton's that got saved on the line. Should he have? He should be burying that in the corner, shouldn't he? In my eyes, he's hit the bar. It's a bit unlucky, but
you've got to take those chances. He cut in, and the two Villa, it was Luiz and Conte hit the deck, and he just catches it too well. And if he scuffs it, it goes in. It's unlucky. But at that point in time, I think Newcastle would have probably almost deserved the lead. It's just for celebrate. I felt bad for celebrating because I don't think we deserve to be winning, and to I'm now on that down of the oh god man, to throw it away so late. It's so frustrating.
Well, you remember playing football with me as a youngin, and that used to be my favourite position that Joe Linton got himself into when he burst into the right-hand side of the box and he tried to pull it back and absolutely screwed it up. For me, just smash it at the front post.
Yeah,
if you connect with it well enough, the keeper's not going to save it.
You've either got to smash it in the sort of top corner area, or you smash it across the goal, so the keeper's at least got to parry it out and it hits somebody else and goes in. I thought to be fair to Joe Linton, I thought he did really well tonight. He had Mings several times, and I kind of thought we were going to see the same Mings that was, against Palace, where he ended up getting sent off. Because there were 3 or 4 times that Clinton had him, and he didn't really know what he was doing against him. I don't know whether that was because Joe Linton didn't know what he was doing, but it just seemed that he had the run of Mings, but he's so frustrating in that final area. Just is either his decision to shoot or cross or pass. It always seems to be the wrong one. He's, he doesn't seem to have the confidence in himself. I think at times, you look and you think some of the other players don't have the confidence in him either. But he did all right. I'd be harsh to say he didn't have a bad game at all, but it's just that final third where his decision making just leaves him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his career, I've obviously Googled it very quickly again because, stats are very important to me when it comes to a striker. 29 games for Hoffenheim, 7 goals. Newcastle, 60 games, 3 goals. He's not a striker, is he? Why our scouts need sacking because they signed him as a number 9 for £40 million. He's not a striker. He's behind the front, maybe left, maybe right. I don't know what he is sometimes. But for £40 million to buy him as the man who's going to replace Rondon, who was in double figures for us, he was the player of the season for us, and then to buy him and watch him do what he's done, it beggars belief. I mean, how did Mike Ashley and the scouts talk him into parting with $40 million for him? I don't get it.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's that amount of money. You're right. I don't think he's a striker. I think he is more of a wide attacker.
Yeah.
And playing him in that position from the very beginning might have brought better results. I've said this to others before. There's a player in there somewhere. It's just getting the best out of him, and it's trying to find that and having the right tactical nous for the team to then be able to build on a player like that and incorporate him into the team. Comes back to the manager. That's another subject. But yeah, I think we were lucky tonight in the fact that you guys were missing your 3 best players.
Yeah.
If those 3 are on the pitch, I think that might have gone a completely different way. But there we go.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to bring to your attention. Obviously, we're talking about best players. Obviously, yeah, we were missing our best 3, but then you were missing Grealish, and then we had that little. If I can find the right picture, I think it's this one. That's going to come up. Come on, your laptop.
Saw one that wasn't
Internet's a bit slow. So there he is, Traore going off with possibly maybe a broken rib after Dummett slyly give him a little bit of a nudge in the back there. And I said on Twitter that was potentially very naughty because you knew what he was doing. And anywhere else on the pitch, that would have been a free kick.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. To be honest with you, if you watch it back, I think they both did it. And they went shoulder to shoulder. And I think that was fair. Traore just couldn't stop. I don't think that was. I think we saw another one later on where 2 players went shoulder to shoulder, and it. I think it was pretty much the same. They both leaned in. They were both at good speed. Bertie just couldn't stop himself in time. It's an awful one because it looked. That looked really painful, and to lose somebody that early. Especially that attacking threat that he can give you. And then we lose another substitute later on in the game where you just think, well, somebody else maybe to come on and just help out. Even like bring on a defensive midfielder in the Canberra or somebody. We just lost the ability to do that. But I don't think there was anything in that. I think that was 2 players just going for it, shoulder to shoulder. Ours just came off worse.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little bit naughty, to be honest with you, and that's why I tweeted it out. And we had to talk about it because that was a big change for you guys because he is one of your danger men, and it just felt like we're targeting him a little bit. But there you go. I mean, everyone targets ASM for us, don't they? And that's why he's always on the injury bench, isn't he? So let's just go through some quick comments. Brooke, hi Brooke. If it's the Brooke I think it is, she's very, very drunk at the moment. Where's the link? David's got the link because David's in the background ready to come on as well at some point. Deserve the point. Murphy was decent when he came on. Joe Linton only if you could shoot in the box. Completely agree, Craig. Why was Gale on the wing? He's not a winger. I thought he played up front, to be honest with you. I thought Joe Linton was the one who was more on the wing because they were trying to play that tactic. If we were going to play it long, they were going to play it long at the channels for Joe Linton to try and get onto the knockdowns and stuff like that. But I mean, I saw him on the left wing quite a lot as well. So they were meant to be interchanging all the time, weren't they? We need a clear out in the summer. I think that's going to happen regardless because if we go down, there'll be a clear out, and we've got 14 players potentially out of contract. So if we don't get them signed back up again, there will be a clear out. So Thomas agrees. Hi, David. There's Jordan to the footballer. There's quite a lot of that, isn't there? Hi, Anne. Good to hear from you. Bruce just said Joe played well. He needs to get a goal. How and when? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've talked enough about Joe Linton already, haven't we? Joe Linton is a butcher. I feel a bit sorry for him. I thought, as Mark said, I thought he played well, Alex. Like you said, you've also highlighted as well. And not many players didn't play too badly tonight. It was just not his night again. But how many times are we going to have to keep on saying that before he actually delivers?
Yeah, exactly. We're expecting goals and that, and we always have, but we've got to take the little wins with him, really, haven't we? Because he gets a lot of grief, and I'm for one that always gives him grief. And recently, in the last few games, I think he's played a lot better at the kind of role he's been given. He's definitely not a striker, not a chance. And sometimes I like one of the comments just there. I do wonder if he's a footballer at all, but he has been a lot better. And hopefully him playing pretty well as he is at the minute doesn't keep any of the better players out when ASM and Miggy and that come back, because you know what Bruce is like for keeping sort of players that are having a good few games. He'll keep them in, won't he? He won't want to disrupt that. So hopefully he doesn't keep them out. But yeah, I thought it was pretty well. But I don't think he's ever going to get goals. The problem is he's used to being in Germany, isn't he? Where he's got a lot more time to make these decisions. Where you can tell he just doesn't think fast enough to make these decisions now. He's used to taking a little bit of an extra couple of seconds or an extra touch. But no, I don't think he's ever going to. It's never going to work. And his final chance was a long time ago, wasn't it? People keep saying this is his last chance to prove, but it was ages ago. It's the same with Bruce, though, isn't it? People always say that he should be, this is his last chance, and then he should be out. But he should have been out last season. Should have been gone ages ago.
Yeah. Right, Mark, are you all right to hang on a few more?
Yeah, of course,
minutes? Man. You're not busy. I'm just going to get a few more people to come in as well, and it'd be good to get your point of view with what they're saying as well, obviously being on the opposition. So it's good to have that banter going. So let's bring David in as well. Hi, David.
Hello, Barry. Hello, Alex, and hello, Mark.
Hi, mate.
Good point in the end for Newcastle. Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't think Joe Linton was as bad as he normally is, so we don't hear that every week. But he's obviously not a striker. But I would like to agree with Alex that I hope when Miggy and Maximin's back and Wilson that Joe Linton doesn't stay in the team at expense of one of them players. Because obviously they're the three main hitters for us, so we need to bring them back as soon as possible, really, without it hampering their fitness going long term. But for the game tonight, I felt it was a well-deserved point. When Murphy hit the bar, I nearly fell into the telly in excitement. So I nearly had to pay for get a new telly tonight. I think we played well generally. Shelby was awful, I thought, for the whole entire game. I don't know if you agree with that, Alex and Barry and more. But I just thought
100%.
Shelby was he's very, very lazy. It's almost like he's just gesturing and like that, and like he's putting in all the effort when he's not. I just feel with Shelby, it's good passes, and sometimes we need to do the simple passes. Really, we're in a relegation battle. We need to do the simple things well to get out of it. Got to credit the Villa as well, who in the second half they come out a little bit, and they did try on the counter attack. Their counter attack was very dangerous with McGinn, and obviously Barkley come on, and I think that's probably one of the best loans of the season. Barkley, the thing that he's on loan from the last time Chelsea, it's a really impressive signing. But yeah, I think we've done really well tonight. But we still need to get 3 points going forward. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to cover a few of your points. I mean, Shelby, I criticised on Twitter in the first half, and then he put in an absolute blinding latch-ditch tackle. So I kept my mouth shut after that because he did put the effort in. You are right, sometimes he looks too Hollywood, but that is John Joe Shelby, and I think you can't put shackles on him. If he can play a ball 40 yards and get us up the pitch, we've got to let him do it. It's points over performance now as well, though, isn't it? You know, we need to scrap out a 3-point, win somehow. I don't know where we're going to do it. Maybe Brighton away, we might be able to do it. Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Alex, what did you think on Shelby's performance? I mean, like I said, I wasn't too chuffed the first half, but he seemed to come into his own in the second half a bit more.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier on. His passing was rubbish today. Every pass that he played seemed to go to a Villa player. He made an absolutely ridiculous pass at one point, and Hayden had to pull off a really good tackle to save us. It was like David was saying, he was trying to Hollywood balls too much, and instead of playing the simple passes, which we should be doing. However, saying that, I think I can understand why Bruce is this 3 sort of midfielder formation. We seems to be having a lot of benefits to how we're playing. So you've got Hayden in the sort of defensive midfield role, who's putting these tackles in, and we look a lot better defensively so far since that's happened. And Willock is a great ball carrier, so he's picking the ball up from Hayden, carrying it really far up the pitch, which is amazing. He seems to be nice and tricky round players as well. It's allowing Shelby to kind of sit there and be his lazy self a little bit, and it gives him a little bit more time to play them long balls. But it just didn't seem to come off for him tonight. But he did put in a couple of good tackles, I must say that. But it's just not for me at all.
Well, what you, Faz? What do you make of Shelby? He splits the fans down the middle sometimes.
From an outside looking in, I mean, tonight he was that one challenge on the edge of the box early on. His passing was just atrocious.
Wasn't it?
You talk about the Hollywood balls. You know, that it was the simple stuff tonight. It was the 2 5-yard passes that were going astray. Alex, you've just said there that his passes were going to Villa players more than they were going to the Newcastle players. So he's not going to give you that. I look at it and you just think there are, and I know that this is not an obvious comment that's probably been made a lot by Newcastle fans, but there are two midfielders that are sitting either on the bench or not even in the squad that give you far more than John Joe Shelby will do, regardless of whether that's passing ability or work rate, tracking back, tackling. I don't understand why they're not playing. I really don't. It's baffling, but it's Steve Bruce, so
just as well as us how we feel about him, eh?
Exactly right. I think I said earlier in the week, doing our podcast with Chris, and looking from the outside in, and as somebody who's been through it, it's so frustrating. And I am from the northeast. I live up here. I've lived up here my entire life. I have a soft spot for Newcastle. I've had a season ticket there because I can't get to the Villa. It's good to go and watch them. To see the same thing happening there as it happened at Villa Park, hear the same crappy lines that he comes out with, blaming the fans, blaming the media, throwing players under the bus. It's deja vu. But yeah, Shelvey's just, I know he's sort of a polarizing player, isn't he? And when he hits those 40, 50-yard passes and they land, they're great. But he doesn't do them enough. I can't remember the last one I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, he played some decent ones today, but they did get us up the field, but there was nothing like defense splitting or anything like that again, was there? Which is a bit of a shame. But David, thanks for coming on, mate, and thanks for your questions and your insight on the game. I hope we've answered everything that you said there. And keep an eye out for my next shows, because come back on whenever you're ready, mate.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Bud.
Have a good night, pal. See you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
So just to remind everyone, I have tweeted out the link. You don't have to ask me to come on. Just click on the link. I'll see your face in the back room, and then I'll bring you on whenever we get a chance. I've got Peter waiting, DPD as I like to call him. He's waiting to deliver. What a terrible pun that was, but it had to be said. How's it going, Peter?
I mean, yes, it's a point we've come away with, but it's a good enough. Well, no, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not, unfortunately. I mean, a lot of the football in that game as well was absolutely drab once again. I mean, there's no real quality. I mean, it's just I thought Dummer put really good crosses in the box. There was just no one there on the end of them. Joe Linton tonight, his decision making was absolutely appalling. He got into some good areas, and it just feel like he was frightened to go for goal. I mean, if he can go for goal, go for it.
Yeah.
Try to hit the.
I mean, you would have thought he would learn his lesson after West Brom, wouldn't he? Because it was almost an identical situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Shelvey was terrible tonight. I think he's not the same player he was anymore. I think it's time to offload him now. He's not what he is anymore. And you wonder if Steve Bruce comes out with that in his press conference saying, "Oh, well, it's a point. We should be proud of it." I mean, how way, man. Win a massive relegation battle. We need victories to move away from there. And it now just shows Brighton is now a must-win game.
Can any of you see anything against Brighton, though? Because I can't. They always seem to turn up against us.
Well, the Frost were 3-0 at St James's Park, didn't they? And we never looked in that game at all. So, and they do play good football, but they just can't score goals. And that's the only thing we can cling on at the moment is, are Brighton going to win enough games to catch us, even though we're 2 points ahead of them now, aren't we? So it's horrible. Pete, what's your thoughts on the game against Brighton?
It's must win, unfortunately. I think anything, if it's a defeat, I think we could be absolutely knackered. Completely. Yeah. I know the injuries are not helping in a way, but it shouldn't be an excuse, man. It really shouldn't be.
We shouldn't be in this position, should we?
Exactly. I thought Murphy should have started the night. I mean, the cross he put in for Lascelles' header was absolutely perfection. He should have scored there before that, where he hit the crossbar. So, and again, why is Gale playing out out wide again?
He seemed to find himself out wide a lot. I don't know if he was out wide though, because I mean, Joe Linton looked like he was on the right. Yeah, I thought they were interchanging all the way through the game.
I thought we should have kept Fraser on. I thought he was one of our better players, as well. And you bring in Andy Carroll with very little time once again, about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I think that was a reaction to the Villa goal, wasn't it? That's the only reason why he put him on. I don't think he would have. There's a very slow picture loading up there of Fraser. So what did everyone think of his performance? Start with you, Mark, as a Villa fan, looking at the Newcastle performance. That's not, we can call it a performance, but what do you think of this man? I thought he ran his heart out all day.
I think he worked hard. There was, I suppose, little. I'm surprised they didn't target his pace a little bit more against El Mohammadi. We saw in our game against Leicester a few weeks ago where you kind of have that pace that they had in Barnes running at him. He does struggle. He's what, 32, 33 now. He is coming to the end. He's not a Premier League player anymore. He does a job, but if you get some pace, and I wonder whether that was, a decision with moving Gale slightly wider, is just using his pace to try and get in behind Elmo, and it didn't really work. But you can kind of see the logic there. But Fraser, I think, frustrating because you've seen what he's capable of doing, and he work. I think he worked hard. There is something lacking, and whether that's the fact that he doesn't really have, certainly in the moment, a centre forward to play to. He's missing Wilson. I think those two would probably hit connect quite well if he was there, but that's a big miss.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, Fraser's used to having Wilson up front with him at Bournemouth, and they were a great partnership. Nearly kept them up. Obviously, Fraser fell out at Bournemouth, which is a bit of a worry because I thought he might do it for us as well. He might have a bit of a sulk, especially working under Bruce, but he seemed to have come back from injury and get himself back to full fitness. He seems to want to prove himself and want to play for the badge. And as we all say, players just do it for money anyway, don't they? But I don't know, there seems to be a little spark with him, and he needs the players around him, though. So maybe Murphy is a guy who should be coming in. Carroll should be in the box, ready for the crosses to come in from both sides. I don't know. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? And like I say, Steve Bruce is someone who uses these substitutions as a reaction rather than a positive change into a game. So instead of maybe 30 minutes to go, throwing Carroll on and throwing Murphy on and saying, look, we're at home, go and win the game, go and take it to Villa and try and do something. Yes, we might concede on the break. He waited until we went 1-0 down and went, oh, crap, and then started throwing the players on. And that, to me, is a sign of an absolute shocking manager and someone who doesn't understand the need to make a difference in the second half with substitutions. I know how you feel about Steve Bruce, Pete. Obviously, I know we talked about Joe Linton getting into positions and not dealing with them. You getting in a position in the car with Steve Bruce was a bad decision, wasn't it?
Oh, honestly, yeah, I've said he needs to be gone. He really, really has to. I mean,
he does, doesn't he?
Does. I mean, surely, it's 2 wins out of 90 now? I mean, how any other manager, any other owner in charge of this football club would have said the manager goodbye by now at least. But because it's Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley, who could have run their own bath, never mind this football club, and that's why he's still here still.
Mm-hmm.
Any other business in the world, and if I was performing in my job how he is right now, then they would at least give me a warning for it, and it'd be put onto some kind of performance plan. But it's starting to make me wonder whether Ashley just doesn't like us. He's just using it as a kind of parody. He's in there just to wind us all up. He could do is. He could get us relegated and he'll probably still keep him in because he's had championship experience, and he just doesn't want to give him up, does he? He doesn't want to part with that money, or he's just trying to wind us all up. It feels more and more like that to me every week. How is this guy still a manager, man? What is he? He should be at home having a biscuit and a cup of tea with his wife, watching football, not bloody. He's a proper dinosaur, man. What is he? Oh, he winds me up. Sorry.
That's the kind of rant I was going to have if we lost.
every day feels like a loss when he's still here, though, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I can't see him getting sacked, to be completely honest with you. I know everyone keeps on saying the international break could make or break him. I don't think Ashley's going to sack him. I think he's going to take us down. I really do. Or hopefully he's expecting him to pull a miracle out in Brighton, don't win any more games, and we stay up by 2 points or something like that. It's heartbreaking to watch at the moment, but we're Newcastle fans. We should be used to it by now. It's been 14 years. Nothing's changed. We've seen managers come and go. We've seen a world-class manager come and go. And I expect another donkey coming in if Bruce does get the sack. Pete, where do we go from here? What changes would you make to that starting lineup for the Brighton game? Bearing in mind we are aware they do play good football. Would you go 5 at the back, or would you be comfortable with 4 at the back still? And who else would you bring in?
5 at the back never works. It never works. It really doesn't. I think would need to see Murphy now in the start lineup. I think now it's his opportunity. He's got the pace. He said he got the cross in the box for the goal. Why not give him a chance for starting against Brighton? I think Shelvey should be taken out. As I said, I don't think the guy's the same anymore. Manquillo, I would look to bring him back in. It's tough, isn't it? That's the thing.
Who would you put Murphy in for, though? If who would you start Murphy in the place of who was playing tonight?
Oh.
Good question.
Because I mean, you mentioned you wanted Shelvey out. Why do we not switch it up a little bit? And because obviously we've been speaking tonight about Shelvey being the worst out of the 3 midfielders we've got in. I think Willock and Hayden work really well in that midfield together. So why could we not put Fraser in sort of a number 10 role maybe, and the other 2 out wide, or switch them around?
Could do. I've been saying we should be looking at 4-2-3-1 formation now.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think that would work really well as well, especially when
we've got the players to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
I think it would work well, but I think Shelvey's right up Bruce's backside. I don't think he's ever going to get dropped because of that.
Shelvey, he's not the same player anymore. His passing was all over the place in the night, and he's been a great servant at the club. I'll give him credit for that. But now there is time where good times have to end now. And I think it's time for Shelvey to be moved on at the end of the season.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I was a massive fan of him, and I used to love going to St James's Park, just watching him play, and the way he played it is like as a quarterback, the way he used to receive the ball from the defence and sort of interchange with them to push us up the field, like 5 yards by 5 yards, and then you'll hit that killer pass, and we just don't see it anymore, do we? And yeah, that's the Shelvey I miss, and that's the Shelvey I always hope to see again, but it's not looking like it, unfortunately. Well, Pete, thank you very much for coming on, and I will see you on Monday night.
See you Monday for the Four Horsemen show. Looking forward to it.
See you, Pete.
Cheers.
So a lot of people don't know who Pete is. He does the Four Horsemen with myself and Paul and John. So if you're not subscribed to Pete's channel, please do so. He's got some great content. He does FIFA content on there as well. So have a little look at his channel.
That was
Alex, you're starting your new channel, aren't you? Do you want to have a quick shout out about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that. First of all, though, that was a bit of a surreal moment for me because I followed Pete for a while, for years actually, on his channel. Same with quite a lot of fan channels. I've always wanted to do this for a long time, but I did think I would choke up and be a bit too nervous about it. Because I mean, I got like you say. I've just recently started a YouTube channel, and I suppose it's just trying to keep myself focused through the lockdown, trying to start something different. And I've got 2 young kids, and for a long time I've wanted to sort of start a YouTube channel based around them and about what we've been doing like during lockdown to keep them entertained. So that was this sort of, that was what I really wanted to base it on at first, but it's kind of just turned into stuff that I like to do. So my hobbies. So Newcastle, I did a rant video last week, all about my thoughts on Bruce, and as you can tell, it wasn't it wasn't very. I didn't have very nice.
It was
things
very
to say about
explicit, yeah.
it. It was very explicit. I had to comment that don't show your kids this or something like that. but yeah, I've got. I mean, I do a lot of gaming stuff as well. Like I do reviews on products and stuff like that. I mean, I've just recently started buying a lot of different tech for recording and software and stuff like that. And this gaming headset I'd bought last week and I put a review up. But I've actually spent all day yesterday because I had the kids on my own, and I know I've got a lot of friends who have kids, and I know a lot of people who really struggle with having the kids, especially when you can't really do anything to entertain them at the minute because of the lockdown. So I've got a routine in place. So I basically did a whole day vlog on little things you can do and little tips and stuff to keep them entertained and keep them busy and just make the day go a little bit better for yourself as well, so it's not as stressful. So I've done a whole vlog about that. I'm waiting for the right moment to premiere it, and I've been editing and stuff, and I'm really proud of that. Actually, it's probably a direction that I want to take. I mean, I love obviously Newcastle fan stuff as well, but there's a lot of people that do it, isn't there? And I don't, because I don't actually live in Newcastle. I can't get to every game because I work at the weekends. I get to them when I can, but it'd be hard to really do anything different to what you guys do. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to have a niche in it, really. So I think this is a direction I want to go in. But anyway,
it sounds good, that though. To be fair, that sounds really good. What's it called? Sorry, mate.
It's called We Are One 1306. So that's We Are One, and then 1306.
Everyone follow them.
If you can, that would be amazing.
Yeah, especially the stuff you're doing. I mean, obviously, as far as you've got kids as well, you know how difficult it's been during lockdown to entertain them. You know, I've got one, and we make bread, and there's a mess in the whole house. You know, we do paintings on the table, and I can't move around. And you know, by the sounds of things, you know, if I can get some tips off Alex, it'll be pretty good. Have you got any tips for us?
Me, no.
Yeah.
I dislike mine a lot at times, but mine, you know, it's tough. The ages they are, I think it's that, you know, you do struggle to keep them focused on stuff. So I think I may be watching some of your stuff, Alex. To be fair,
I've actually had a few other videos as well. I mean, bear in mind, I've only recently sort of picked up recording and video editing software and stuff. I mean, I learn really quick, so I've been literally, I get obsessed with things like this. If I pick up something and I enjoy it, I mean, I'm a musician as well. I played the guitar since I was about 7, and went all through performing arts college and stuff. So that kind of artsy stuff is something that I just get my teeth into, and I really enjoy it. So I would say, considering I've only been doing it a couple of weeks, the difference in my videos has come on leaps and bounds. But yeah, I get super excited and proud of it. I've also got a few other videos. I've got like a certain playlist in my videos so far about stories that I read to the kids. So what I do is I just basically read them a story and do something a bit cute at the end. Like I'll get her to say "night night, daddy" or something like that, and I'll put that in the video, and then I'll put loads of special effects and stuff in the video that I'm doing for when I turn the pages and stuff like that. So it's not just me reading a book and a little bit of music behind it or something. But I put that in there as well. But yeah, it's just getting started. So if you could help us grow, that would be great. But
awesome. Faz, you've got a podcast with Wig, our friend Chris Curry. Do you want to have a shout out for that? See if we can get you a few listeners.
Thanks, man. No, we started a bit of a blog a couple of weeks ago. It's called the Slide Rule Pass. If you obviously on Twitter, we are Slide Rule Pass 1. If you want to follow on there, the link to the blog is in the description on the Twitter page. And we somehow managed to get roped in to do a podcast this week as well. So that was out on Monday. Again, it's called the Slide Rule Pass podcast, or podcast even. And yeah, it's not club orientated, although we do a little bit on both our clubs. Obviously, it's what we know, but we look at Premier League. We touched on the Championship race, Scottish Premier League, European games, that sort of thing. So try and cover a bit of everything. So yeah, if it's on the likes of Spotify and Google Podcasts now. If you just search the Slide Rule Pass podcast, you'll find it on there.
Awesome. I've had a listen to some of it, and it's good stuff. I wasn't too impressed with the team that you put out. That was a mix between Newcastle and Villa, though. I was not impressed. Peter Beardsley wasn't in that team. I really wasn't, as you know. I'll let you off with Peter Schmeichel, though, because you are right. He was, better at Man United than he was at Villa. But Beardsley walks into any team in my eyes. Walks into the greatest 11 in the Premier League, to be fair. Well, you know how I feel about the man. I'm terrible. Well, Faz, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate your input, and hopefully we'll see you on here again in the future.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much.
Take care,
buddy. Good night, Mark.
Cheers, man.
So we'll move on to David. David's popped on. How was it going, David?
Hi, David.
And what do you think of the game then?
Yeah, it was positive. The first 15 minutes was positive, and then we went back and watched Shell again. Then we'll come out from the second half, and we looked sluggish for the first 20 minutes, and then we went all right again.
That's the same as most of the games that we've played. Well, recently though, isn't it? We have a spell where we're really good, but it's just little spells. Where I did think, like you say, we did look pretty decent today, and in those spells we did look really good. A lot of pressure, intensity. I think we not have like 70% possession today, or was that just?
Yeah, that was in the second half.
Yeah, so
that was just the second half. The first half was a bit more dominated by Villa, wasn't it? We'll bring the stats up because I like my stats.
I swear, even
49 to 51%. So we didn't have the full line share of the ball, but we did in the second half. But 49, I picked 47% on the possession bingo, so I was 2% out. Big gutted about that. Looking at that now.
That's good. That's good effort.
But yeah, yeah.
That's a good guess.
Well, it was close. 47 is what I want. I'm a bit gutted about that now. So, what do you think of if it decides to load up? I click on pictures, and these days I think it's my internet. It's absolutely shocking. It's taking ages to come up. But picture that's about to come up on the screen, David, is Lascelles banging the ball home in the last minute. I mean, what a header that was!
Oh my God! I erupted my bedroom. I did. I was dancing around my fucking bedroom.
I don't blame you. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I have to celebrate a little bit quieter because the little one was in bed. There we go. There's my picture. There's my screenshot from the replay. Just about the ball is just about smashing the top corner. He didn't even jump for it though, did he? He just kind of angled his body and just flicked it, didn't he?
The power on that shot. The power on that header.
Yeah. He did 94th minute as well, though, isn't it?
He did put in a captain's performance tonight, I think. I don't know if you remembered, but a little bit earlier on, there was a ball coming in and he just leapt for it. And it was an awesome diving header clearance. And I feel like when I was, because I was writing a lot of notes down, and for quite a lot of times that the camera panned to him and Dubravka, you could hear him and Dubravka both shouting at the players and pointing at them and stuff and organising them, which I feel like we've been missing. I don't know whether that's Lascelles or Dubravka, to be fair, because since Dubravka's come in, we've not really conceded that many goals, have we? I think just 2, is it? Since he's come back.
Yeah, I think it's Dubravka, and I've said this for a long time that I don't get me wrong, Darlow was brilliant. He outperformed his average performance nearly every game. But the one thing that I always thought he lacked was that leadership for the back four. It was like he was too afraid to speak out. I don't know why, because that's what goalkeepers are for. They're meant to shout and organise the team. And you can see that straight away when Dubravka was back in against Wolves. You can see him organising the back four. You can see them communicating better. I don't think it's no fluke that we didn't concede against West Brom because he was between the sticks and he was marshalling the back four. So I called for him to come back in a long time ago. And I know a lot of people say it's harsh on Darlow, but he's a number 1 for a reason. Darlow's a number 2. And at one point, Darlow was number 3 or 4 at our club. So for him to come in and do what he did was absolutely outstanding. But when your best goalkeeper is fit, you play him. Peter Schmeichel at Man United back in the day got injured. When he was back, you didn't see him sitting on the bench. He was straight back in between those sticks because he was the number one goalkeeper. And that's how I see Dubravka. I think he's that good that you can't keep him out the team. But would you agree with that, David?
Yeah. You see that? You see that with Shea Given when he was injured. You would fetch in Steve Harper, but soon as Given was back, he was back behind them sticks.
It was amazing.
That's the way it should be. Your number one goalkeeper should be your number one.
Yeah, and I felt sorry for Steve Harper at the time because Steve Harper was a great goalkeeper. But whenever Shea Given was fit, Steve Harper knew he was sitting on that bench because he knew Shea Given was a slightly better goalkeeper.
Look at Pavel. Pavel Sivicek, for instance. When he was injured, you had Shaka. Was it Shaka Hislop?
Yeah, Shaka Hislop came in. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as soon as Pav was back, he was back behind the sticks because he was the number one.
Yeah.
They just make the team look so much more solid. They're like they're
more vocal. Number one,
probably the most
vocal.
One of the most important people in the team, are there?
Yeah.
Just to organise that back. Another thing to point out as well with the difference between Darlow and Dubravka is the catching of the ball. Darlow has a really bad habit of palming the ball out or punching the ball or just doing weird stuff like that time. I can't remember who we were playing. Was it? But anyway, when he went out, it was Leeds, when he went out and sort of put his hands behind his back and went to header it, and he missed. Dubravka tonight, for example, he caught nearly everything. Or that save where the ball went out wide, it ended up offside, but he took a shot and it was clear through on goal, and Dubravka just saved it magnificently. That's the difference, I think. I mean, Darlow, like you say, has had a few good games this season, but since Dubravka was sitting on the bench, I think is when he started, panicking and the pressure must have been on him. But he started, his performances dropped massively then, I think.
Yeah, I think he suffered from a bit of anxiety of Dubravka sitting on the bench, didn't he? He thought, if I make a mistake, then he makes a mistake. I don't like how he got dropped. I don't like how the information was leaked because I thought that was very harsh on him. But it should have happened games ago, and we might have more points as well because of that. I think there's a few games if Dubravka was in goal instead of Darlow, I think we might have stole a point or maybe got 3 points instead, which is a bit of a shame. Here's one. How on earth is AC and Murphy supposed to change the game in 10 minutes? Stupid decision by Steve Bruce. Completely agree, David. I mean, they did change the game because, they were heavily involved in the equaliser, weren't they? Carroll was some tracking back and winning the ball back, and then Murphy with the cross in, and then the great header from Lascelles. So they did make a huge difference. But they should have had 30 minutes, shouldn't they? 25, 30 minutes.
Like I say, I was so frustrated when you fetched on Carroll within 2.5 minutes to go. What is that boy supposed to do in 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, he still showed in those few minutes that he was capable of doing it for a full 30, didn't he?
Then he proved it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is it. I mean, it's beggars belief why Steve Bruce hadn't put them on earlier. It really is. I mean, amazing how he go on.
It's making me think, right? He's looking for this mole. Is it Andy Carroll the mole?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to go up against Andy Carroll.
Yeah, but he fetches him on for 30 seconds last weekend, and then he fetches him on 2.5 minutes this weekend. It's making me think it's Andy Carroll the mole.
Well, you could say that about a few players, though, couldn't you?
I think it's Craig Jones. Where was he tonight? By the way, he wasn't nowhere to be seen. Yeah. I
heard about that.
He was missing today, so maybe something's gone on behind the scenes and they figured out it is him and he's not there anymore.
Yeah, possibly. Tonight. I mean, it could be that. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight.
Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jones was in the stands tonight. Graham Jo
Was he?
He's in the stands again. I hate it when Bruce does that to him, but there you go. It's just one of those things. Well, David, thank you for coming on. Oh, yeah, go on. Sorry, David.
You were sitting just below. If you seen when the camera panned on Wilson, you were sitting just below Wilson. You were sitting just below Wilson.
Right. He's no good there though, is he? He wants to be. He wants to be
touchline.
on the touchline. Yeah, giving instructions.
That's the inept coach that we've got. He likes to prove a point.
He does, doesn't he? He's a petty little man, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is. Right, brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on, David. No doubt we'll see you on the next show as well. You're more than welcome to come back on whenever you want.
Yeah. Thank you, Barry.
Cheers, David.
See you, David.
Okay, mate.
So that's a comment from Mark, who was just on before Faz. He was a goalkeeper back in our school days, a very good one as well. And he's right. He's obviously agreeing with us. If your number one's fit, your number one plays. Brooke obviously missed the shout out before because she's pretty drunk. Have a good night, Brooke.
I wish I was.
And thanks for. Yeah, I know, me too. I've got to go to work soon, so 5 o'clock in the morning now I'm up. But yeah, lucky for Brooke, she's getting drunk with her friends, and she's obviously had a good night. I love it.
I'm up at 5 for work as well.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're going to wrap it up, pal, because we both need some sleep, don't we? Before we do, there was another little goalmouth scramble. I want to just, if the picture comes up, I don't know if you can remember this. It was in the second half. It was just before Villa went ahead, I think. Here it comes, very, very slowly. And I think Murphy was involved.
Was it the bit where Murphy runs?
That's Murphy's shot. I took a good screenshot of that one. The one that hit the bar. That was obviously a great opportunity in a great effort. But it was one where I think Murphy ran down the right and he cut it back. Yeah. And we tried to flick it between his legs, didn't he? And there it is.
Gale
did. It was Gale. Yeah.
Nearly got
tried
a back
to do
heel
what? Yeah. Which, I mean, we did have our chances, didn't we? And I still don't understand how we didn't really come away with 3 points. And I didn't see the Villa goal. I know it was an own goal. It went down as, and I was literally getting all these pictures ready for the show. All these ones I'm showing you now because I had to load them up as quickly as I could. And then I turned my phone back on and we're losing. I was just like, oh my God, my heart sank.
Always the way, is it?
I thought that was it. It is, yeah. And I was wondering whether I wanted to watch the end of the game, but I was like, no, I've got a show to do, haven't I? So I've got to watch the end of the game. So yeah, a bit of a nightmare. One more picture to pop up. Obviously, the really sad news of Glenn Roeder passing away. I mean, I remember being a season ticket holder when he was in charge, and he wasn't the greatest manager that we've ever had, but he knew the fans. You know, he got us. He played for us. He was a very good player at centre back for us, and you'll be sadly missed after losing a long battle with a tumour. And I know he got some stick from some away fans about it at once, and it was really sad to see. But you'll be sorely missed. Is there anything you can remember of Glenn Roeder? Any particular moments? For me, it was the 1-0 away to Palermo when he played Cruel for the first time, and he kept a clean sheet and pulled off a double save. And at the full time, he ran on the pitch and proper give him a hug and everything. That was one of the things I remember about Glenn Roeder. What about yourself?
I can't remember much, mate, if I'm honest with you.
Can you not?
I can't really remember that much of him.
It was a while ago. It was a long time ago.
A long time ago, wasn't it? That wouldn't have been before my time, would it?
No. How old are you, mate?
28, 29.
You'd be young-ish. I've got 10 years on you, so.
No way.
Yeah. I'm hitting 40 this year, mate. It's horrible.
I thought you were about my age.
No, another 10 years on you, mate. I do look young. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. Thomas says, great stream. Thomas is a good guy. Thomas, come on the show. This is what this show is for the fans. It's an open book. We want people to come on and express their opinions and scream and shout if you have to. It doesn't bother me. You can swear. It's after 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter. But yeah. I mean, I suppose we're all kind of relieved and happy that we've got away with a point at the end of it. I mean, if you can sum up the game in a few words, Alex, I know you've got a lot of notes and you've used as much as you can of them, but do you want to do a final summary of what you saw, what you think is going to happen, and where do you think we're going to finish?
Well, first of all, better than I was expecting, to put it into a few words. A lot of heart shown by a lot of the players. I mean, it's a good job Brighton are being sucked into it with us, but I don't see anything against Brighton, which is worrying for me. We always struggle against them. Obviously, Wilson, ASM, and Miggy are just too big a miss for us. We just don't have any cutting edge at all. We're not critical in the final third. We can't seem to get any killer passes. Fraser's unreal, and I wish he, when them players do come back, that he would start alongside them all. I think he's great. Murphy did really change the game when he came on. I mean, Shelby, I think, should be dropped. We should start playing three behind the striker, Willock and Hayden in midfield. But yeah, I mean, if you'd have asked me before the game, I would have taken a point. So I know we needed 3, and we desperately need to start picking up wins. Hopefully, after this international break, we with the players that we get back, it's coming at a good time for us. To be fair, Fulham have Man City. Is it tomorrow they have Man City?
I will check that for you. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they've got a horrible running at the moment, and then Brighton have got a really horrible running after us as well.
So no doubt
which
they'll
is
beat us.
encouraging. Yeah, Man City at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Away. Man City are away. It all depends on the Champions League fixtures, doesn't it? To what kind of team City might put out.
But the difference between Liverpool and Man City this season is Liverpool have a lot of injuries, and they can't really, if they rotate like they did against Fulham, they don't have that great backup players. Whereas City, just their B squad could win the league. You know what I mean? So even if they are playing a Champions League game, they should have by far what it takes to beat Fulham. I don't think Fulham will get anything out of that game tomorrow. But then
we said that against Liverpool, but then Liverpool made 7 changes. So I think it all depends on the starting 11. I've just checked the midweek fixtures and I can't see any Champions League football. So that's a bonus for us because I think
I think there is.
Go on.
Came up on BT. It came up when we were watching the game.
Oh, did it?
I think Man City have Gladbach.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, they were up 2-0. I remember it coming up on the.
Oh, who does that, man? Sky Sports want to have a word with themselves. They've advertised the Championship, League One, League Two before the Champions League. That is terrible.
BT
They
Sport,
need to have a word. Oh, I'm looking at the app. Where you look at all the fixtures. Yeah, they play on Tuesday night, don't they? So that's the worrying side of it. How many players are Man City going to rest against Fulham, knowing they're that far ahead in the league title race at the moment? I mean, Man United did claw back an 11-point gap once before, but that was against us all those years ago. I think you might have been 1 or 2 at that time or something like that. You might have been a twinkle in your dad's eye, maybe. I don't know, but that was a crazy season, that one. So you never know. Man United could do it again, but I think Man City will rest players, and I think that could damage us, just like what happened with Liverpool. So I'm worried about that. A little bit worried, but we've just got to hope City turn up and do the job. Are we going to stay up?
Yeah, I think we will. I think.
Yeah, that was too cool.
It's just because. I mean, obviously, it is squeaky bum time, and the fact that these other teams are. I don't want to sound like Bruce here, but there are a few teams that are in it. Burnley and Brighton, Fulham. We're going to have a game in hand over them tomorrow. If they lose against Man City, then it gives us 2 points or 2 points that are massive for us. I mean, I can't really judge what we're like at the minute without our best players in the team. And again, not using it as an excuse, but it is obviously a massive thing. Like all the goals come from Wilson. We don't have him. All the goals without Wilson would come from Miggy and ASM, or the creativity at least, and we don't have them. Yeah. So we're just stuck with what we've got. You know what I mean? And we've still got 2 points in the last 2 games. Hopefully, we can get something against Brighton, but I'm not holding my breath about that. But I do feel like after the international break, we'll start picking up points again.
But who against though? I mean, I'm looking at Tottenham at home, Burnley away, West Ham at home, Liverpool away, Arsenal at home, Leicester away, Man City at home. Then the last 2 games, Sheffield United at home, Fulham away.
I think we'll get something.
It's not an easy run-in, is it? Do you?
Yeah, I think we'll get something against Spurs, whether that be a 1-1 draw again. But
wow.
But
what with Bale, Kane, Son, all firing at the moment.
That is after the international break, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll get something out of that. Burnley will beat them. I mean, Liverpool are shocking just now away from at home. So there's always a chance with them. I mean, even if it's just another draw like we got last time.
Yeah.
But then obviously the few games after that it's just another horrible run, isn't it? So we need to be picking up points where we can during these times where we are playing winnable teams.
Well, this is why everyone's been saying how important these games we've just played to at least get a 3 point somewhere, and we haven't. So that's where the worry is. We picked up 3 points. I predicted after the Brighton game we needed 6 or 7. So if we beat Brighton, we hit that target. If we don't beat Brighton, we're 2 points short potentially.
I mean, I do think it's a massive game for us, Brighton, isn't it? But they just always seem to pull out a really good result against us. And that Tariq Lamptey, he's a monster of a young lad, isn't he? He's so quick.
Yeah. Well, he's injured for the rest of the season.
You're kidding? I didn't even know that.
The right back, isn't it? They're talking about.
The sort of the young right back
the young right back. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, he's injured for the rest of the season. He's their big miss, but they're still playing good football without him, though.
But they can't. They're quite similar to how we were for Ports tonight. They play well. They play good football, but they just can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I just feel like they'll beat us 3-0 now. I said that though.
Well, they did absolutely tonk us at home, though, didn't they? 3-0, and that was. We all went into that game thinking, "Oh, this is 3 points. This will be easy." Brighton, they've got nothing, and then that Lampard decides to absolutely tear us a new one. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. I would be happy with a point, to be honest with you. I would like 3. I would have liked 3 tonight. It hasn't happened. It's just one of those things, isn't it? We're Newcastle fans. We're used to being down there now. We're used to drama. This could be our 3rd relegation. So, seat belts, fasten them in, guys, because it's going to be a bumpy road from now to the end of the season.
It kind of feels a lot worse now, though, doesn't it? I mean, if you and I are working, we're working all week, and the one thing we've got families and kids and stuff, and we're working hard all week, and then the one thing we've got to look forward to at the weekend is to watch us play, and it just gets worse and worse every week. It's massively deflating, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially when I work with a lot of Leeds fans, Man United fans, Liverpool fans. I've got to walk into work and take more stick again. But I mean, there's one particular lad at work who's a Man United fan. Obviously, he saw Steve Bruce lift the Premier League trophy for the first time at Man United, and he's defended Bruce for months and months and months. And then finally, I said to him, I said, "Have you seen our running?" Yeah. I said, "Have you seen our results recently?" Yeah. "What do you think of Bruce now?" Shite, and he. I've finally worn him down to my way of thinking. It took a long time, but I've got there eventually. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. He's obviously terrible." So, we move on to next week.
It takes a lot. He was a legend at Man U, wasn't he? So it takes a lot for even for them to show anything less than a lot of respect for him. It'd be like Shearer or someone managing someone else and being really rubbish.
Yeah,
like we'd still love him no matter what.
of course we would.
So it's pretty similar to that. But yeah, God knows how he ever got a job as a manager, man.
Yeah. I like to think we'd be a bit more sensible. So, very quickly before we end the show, on your screen there is Alan Shearer's testimonial program, championship winning retro Newcastle shirt back from way back in the day, 1926 to 1927, and a Peter Beardsley signed postcard. There is no catch to this at all. If you subscribe to my channel, you will be automatically entered into a free prize draw. And when I hit 500 subscribers, one lucky winner will be drawn out of a hat and you will receive that prize in the post. As long as you obviously contact me and give me your address after I've messaged you. Very important. I know where I'm sending it, of course. But I think it's a great prize. I've got more prizes in the future when I hit more followers. I've got merchandise that the missus won't let me put up on the wall. They've literally been in a box for about 8 years. So someone might as well enjoy them, and I might as well carry on enjoying doing this and hopefully getting a few more followers for it. So, Alex, honestly, thank you very much for coming on at short notice. I know I only messaged you a couple of days ago and asking you to jump in Holly's seat. I'm hoping you'll be willing to come back on if it's a trio with Holly, or if it's just yourself again in the future. Are you interested in all your fans watching now who are going to think, yes, Alex is good, let's watch him?
Well, thanks for having us on. First of all, it's been a pleasure, and
Yeah.
I was a bit nervous about coming on before. It's just this kind of fact that you're live. Doing videos is one thing because you can re-record yourself. You know what I mean, and you can cut them bits out. If you're live, you're gonna look a bit silly if you get anything wrong. So yeah, it kind of helped with the nerves a bit.
Good.
I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'll definitely come back on, and I think Holly's great. Holly's great as well. So yeah, it'd be good to meet her and chat with you guys again.
Yeah, for her age and how long she's been doing it, she's like a pro every time she comes on people's shows now. She's very, very knowledgeable as well, which I find hard with younger people to relate to because they've not seen the football we've seen. But she obviously understands everything that goes on, and she always has a great insight every time she goes on people's shows. Yeah, it's great to have her on when I can.
She's on a lot of shows at the minute. Eh?
Yeah, she's right in demand. She is. She's got herself out there, and I know she's got big plans for what she wants to do in the future for herself. And we wish her all the best. And I hope I can nab her back on again in the future as well. And of course, mate, you are more than welcome to come back on.
Thanks very much for having us, mate.
No, thanks, pal. I'm just going to put you in the back room just while I finish off, and we'll have a quick 2-minute chat.
All right, cool, mate. Cheers, bud.
So thanks everyone for watching and joining in with the live comments, and for the people who were brave enough to come and show their faces and talk about the game. Please, in future, if you are brave enough and you do want to come and have a chat, this is like a talk sports show. I want people to come on and really express their opinions after the game. And sometimes it might not be straight after the game, sometimes it might be a day after, but this show will stay within my repertoire now because I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's nice to talk to other people who are as frustrated as me at times. So thank you for watching full time. I've been your host. Alex has been my co-host, and we've fully enjoyed it. Please stay safe. Subscribe, like, and share if you've enjoyed it. And like I say, you will be entered into a prize draw. If when I hit 500 followers, someone's going to win that prize, and there's no catch to it. You press one button, it's completely free, and you're in the draw. So good night, everyone.